Do you have some problems with your plants? As I found with this Chinese money plant, it lost lots of leaves in a short period of time and just doesn't seem healthy at all. Especially in comparison with how it looked a few weeks ago. Of course, some leaf loss is normal, but when it just loses most of the leaves without replacing them with new ones, something's probably wrong. The number one reason why most plants die is overwatering. It all depends on the species of course, but for most plants, you should wait to rewater until the top soil layer is dried up. You really just should dig in with your fingers and feel if it's dry or not. Only then you should water it, and when you have to water it again, water it thoroughly, until water drains from the bottom. Therefore, there should always be drainage holes in your pot. And if you have a cover pot, take the plant out and check if there's no water building up in there. If there is, you have your reason your plant is doing bad. At this point, root rot might already have developed, which is a fungal infection of the roots, and you might need to treat this. Otherwise, you should definitely start with letting the soil dry up completely before you rewater again. And again, just do a quick Google search for your specific plant species. For example, my alocasias and banana plants I have to water a little more because they prefer not being completely dry between waterings. So I think this Chinese money plant is overwatered in a sense, not because I give it too much water, but because of the inappropriate soil. I got this plant like this and the soil is clay based, which holds lots of water. Therefore the soil almost never dries up and is always moist. There's even fungi growing on top of it because of this. So I repotted the plant into fresh appropriate soil after removing most of the old soil. And I just quickly watered it to let the new soil settle. And of course I removed the excess water so I can let the soil dry out completely before I rewater it. So that was a first very common problem. If overwatering is not a problem, it might also be underwatering. Like might be the problem with this coffee plant. Although I'm not sure why it's doing so bad. It has slowly lost all of its leaves over the course of several months and I think I watered it accordingly. So I decided to check the roots to see if they look healthy. And as you can see, they actually look quite okay. Nice and white and no visible fungal infection. Just as with the Chinese money plant, I placed it in new soil. Then I removed all dead leaves. Not much of the plant were left, but it's not dead yet. There's still some life left and who knows, it will survive. If anyone would recognize a precise problem with this coffee plant, please tell me about it in the comments. I do feed my plants on occasion and the humidity in this room is around 50 to 60%, so I don't think that's a problem either. Another possible problem could be too much or too little sunlight. This plant had signs of too much light because of the brittle leaves and dark patches. But this is basically impossible. It rather would have too little sunlight from where it was located. Which might also be the case with the Chinese money plant, which does show the right symptoms for too little light, being small and pale leaves. So I decided to place them both at an east-facing window with neither too little nor too much light, where other of my plants do very well. I also took the time to repot this Philodendron erubescens white princess because I had all the material already laid out and it was still in its first pot, which was getting a little too small for its size. I also used a stick to support the plant because it was not very stable. So to repeat everything, first check if you're not overwatering your plant, make sure there is no water buildup and that there are drainage holes and that the correct soil is used. If your plant looks very dehydrated, you are probably underwatering it, but that's something you probably realize you're doing. Make sure your plant has enough light, but also not too much direct sunlight. With exceptions of course, like cacti, banana plants, lots of palm species which do prefer lots of sunlight. Other problems could be humidity, malnutrition and diseases. If anyone knows a problem with my coffee plant, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching and I see you next time.